Turn 1 Silvergill, Master, second Master next turn. I think this is a good aggressive hand. I'm not sure what I'm playing. It might be the wrong kind of hand. It's really fair. I mean, it's not fair with the Black Lotus, but I don't have any like free counter spells to stop like turn 1 Storm. But I think we're going to keep it. It's just too tempting to get 5 power out on the board. Turn 1 that turns into 7 power turn 2 potentially. Or I can just go the Wasteland route. I have plenty of pressure, so maybe start going into like mana denial mode. Which actually looks a little bit better now that I see the mulligan down to 6. So I put a card on bottom, which seems also good for me. So Island, Lotus, go ahead and crack the Lotus. Run out of Silvergill. Show them a Master. So now they're going to have to decide if they want to counter the Silvergill and prevent me from drawing a card, or counter the Master. I think if they counter the Master, it'd just be good for us. They're already short on cards. That would just be one more card they're down on. And we have a backup Master. So this hand's actually shaping up pretty well. I think we're going to Wasteland next turn, hopefully, and still be able to cast a Cursecatcher. So they're digging pretty hard. Whoa. So they got a storm count of 3 already. So the last thing I want to see is a bunch of fast mana. Okay, so they got a library online. So we're going to kind of be conservative here. Instead of running out the other Master, we'll just run out the Cursecatcher. Keep them off mana. And just be the aggressor. And then next turn we're swinging in for 7. Potentially 10 if we run out the Master. But I think we'll still kind of play it safe depending on what land they play. We'll just kind of Wasteland it. Same as we did there. Try to keep them off mana. We have the Cursecatcher. So, alright, so we won that one. I'm not totally sure what they're playing. We just saw a bunch of Gitaxian probes and a Library of Alexandria. I mean that could be a bunch of different decks. So I think I'm just going to stay mainboarded. If it does happen to be Storm, we're well set up for that. And even if it's not, then we still have a pretty solid, kind of deck that can either be aggressive or controlling depending on the draws and what you're playing. So especially when we're up a game, I don't feel like being really risky with sideboarding. So I'm going to keep this off the turn 1 Silvergill Adept and Force of Will. So they mulligan down to 5, down to 4. They keep. So hopefully Wasteland's going to look really good here. If they play it on land, we can Wasteland. So let's see if they go basic. They don't. So I'm going to Force of Will this. Get rid of the True-Name, because I'm not going to be able to cast it very quickly. And then Wastelanding their Underground. They're going to be super short on mana. So maybe that's just a really aggressive line, but I think it's pretty good. So, you know, if they have land and gush in their hand, this just kind of takes them off of that, you know, building their hand back up. Now we have, you know, plenty of mana, or we have at least enough mana to cast our Silvergill Adept, hopefully see another land, so the next turn we can cast a Phantasmal Image on that Silvergill, and just hopefully just bury them in resources. So what would be best for is if they don't play a land. So that's excellent. Mental Misstep is great if they try to ponder or brainstorm their way out of their situation. We do need to find another land, but we'll at least have some pressure on the board. Alright, so they had to force a will. I got rid of a force of will. Alright, so now we're just kind of in a standoff. So we'll just kind of see who draws a land first. So a Cursecatcher is pretty good there. At least we'll be able to start swinging in. And then once we get a Lord out, you know, it turns into a bear. So land. I think I'll hold on to this Phantasmal Image. I could copy the Cursecatcher, but I think we'll just try to keep them off of their mana. And hopefully copy the Lord at some point. So the Opal's fine unless they follow it up with a couple of Mox. So we have a couple of Mental Missteps. I mean, we could copy the Cursecatcher. It does speed up our clock and gives us a little bit more attack if we play if we're able to play the Master. And it does give us a little bit of interaction to help to keep them from drawing out of their current situation. So I think that's actually fine. So let's see if they have another artifact. So they're pretty close to having the potential to climb out of the hole they're in. So I think I like being a little bit more aggressive there. I think a Force of Will or a land would be really great here. Even a Silvergill Adept. Actually, a Null Rod would be an excellent thing to draw right now. So there's a Lotus Petal. Fortunately, it only turns on their Mox Opal and Mox Jet. So there's an Academy. We'll misstep that. And then hopefully just Wasteland the Academy before they're able to do anything, you know, good with it. So this is a paradoxical. So Yawgmoth's Will. Till end of turn. So what are they going to be able to cast? They're going to be able to cast an Ancestral Recall and a Soul Ring. And we can fight the Ancestral Recall. So I think that's fine. And the Soul Ring. So actually, maybe we wanted to. Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I should have given up one of the Cursecatchers. So that's kind of unfortunate. But you know, maybe not. And you know what? I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of that Wasteland, because now if I drew a Silvergill Adept, I'd at least have a turn to see if I wanted to make that decision or not. So kind of some misplays here. So as long as I don't draw in anything good, it doesn't always happen in Vintage. And if we draw a blue source, then we're going to be doing pretty well. Yeah, man, the difference between that turn, if I would have used the Cursecatcher, it's pretty huge. Well, I guess I still would have been able to pay for it. So maybe that was an okay decision. Wow. So this is pretty unfortunate. We're just kind of drawing the wrong cards here. I mean, we will draw into land eventually, but you know, hopefully not before it's too late. So we're really hoping for a blue source here. It's not what we want. So one blue source and we speed up our clock significantly. So now they have an unknown card in hand. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So I'll get him down to 8. Next turn will be 6. Damage down to 2, hopefully. So, Paradoxical Outcome, I think, might be their way out of this. I think I go Silvergill Adept here. I don't really slow down my clock, and it lets me potentially draw into a Force of Will.
Explore a world of mystery, adventure, and coconut-clad pirates? At Subway, get your own Moana Kakamora action figure or floral charm bracelet. Get one free when you buy a delicious, freshly made Subway Fresh Fit for Kids meal. Don't miss Disney's Moana in theaters now. Rated PG.
Would have been nice if this was a strip mine.
Awesome Moana Kakamora action figure or floral charm bracelet today. Get one free for a limited time. Only at Subway.
So we'll see if they have an answer. We do have lethal on board with some redundancy. Well, great. So we 3-1.